نحمده إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وجاهد في الله حق الجهاد حتى أتاه اليقين فصلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تمسك بسنته واكتفى بهديه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أجارني الله وإياكم من النار. ثم أما بعد. Who from mankind is free of worry and hardship? No one, ever. Who from the children of Adam, from the beginning to the end, can guarantee on themselves, I'm not going to say themselves and those around them, but just themselves, protection from challenges, from illness, sicknesses and diseases? Again, no one, ever. Who amongst mankind can ensure that the blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal that He has bestowed upon them will continue forever? No one, ever. This is because the promise of Allah Azza wa Jal is all will be reduced to nothing. كل من عليها فان, all will perish. So the wealth that one may be happy with, the health that one may be proud of, the knowledge, the strength, the status, the offsprings, all this will perish. But when you know this, your joy becomes limited, becomes reduced. How can you be happy, a happiness that continues, if you know that that which makes you happy is not going to continue? So you're happy you have money, but then you remember that that money is going to perish. You're happy you have strength, but then you remember that strength is going to be reduced. Today I want to share with you a happiness, a joy that continues, a joy that lives on, a fulfillment that no material gain can give you, a sense of fulfillment within that will live on and will be with you even in the hardest times that you will go through. Be it this dunya or the akhirah, this joy, this happiness, this fulfillment you will take with you, and you will enjoy in this dunya, but you will continue to enjoy in the akhirah. This joy comes from helping those in need. This joy comes from lightening the burden of those facing difficulties. Because Allah Azza wa Jal promises on the tongue of His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whoever eases a hardship of a believer, Allah Azza wa Jal will ease one of their hardships on the day of resurrection. Now we believe that strength and weakness, wealth and poverty, happiness and sadness are all decreed by Allah Azza wa Jal. So everything that you will face, that will affect you, you believe as a Muslim that it was decreed by Allah Azza wa Jal. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. And the reason Allah decreed for you what He has decreed, to test you, which of you is best in deeds. There are two components that make a person's iman, that shape a person's iman in the times of ease and hardship. As the hadith says, عَجَبًا لِأَمْرِ الْمُؤْمِنِ. Amazing is the affairs of a believer. If Allah sends him ease, happiness, he's thankful, and that is good for him. He shows gratitude, and that is good for him. And if Allah afflicts him with a trial and a hardship, he is patient, and that is good for him. So your faith, your identity as a believer has two very important components when dealing with the blessings and the hardship of Allah Azza wa Jal: gratitude and patience. As for the one that Allah Azza wa Jal has given, He has made it from His way, the way that Allah Azza wa Jal has decreed between mankind, is that He will be an aid for others, is that people will rely on Him in fulfilling their needs. You will be one of two people. Either a person that relies on someone, or a person that is relied upon. This is from the established ways of Allah Azza wa Jal, that the strong support the weak, that the knowledgeable teach the ignorant, that the wealthy financially assist the poor. Without this way, without this established way, society will not be as we know it. Can you imagine a society, a time and a place and a people where they see hunger around them and they don't care? And we're talking about believing people. They see people hungry and they don't care about them. There is a time and a place and a people. And the Prophet ﷺ, he says, Wallahi la yu'min. By Allah, he has no true iman. Wallahi la yu'min. Wallahi la yu'min. Man bata shab'an wa jaruhu ja'i'. 3 times he made an oath by Allah that this person's iman is incomplete. He who cares about himself, who sleeps on a full stomach, busy, consumed, caught up with himself, self-centered. He sleeps on a full stomach. And his neighbor next door, he shares maybe even the same block of land. His neighbor's hungry and he sleeps full. So yes, there are a people and there is a time and a place where you will find people that are self-centered to the extent where they do not share what Allah has given them of blessings. The scary thing, and this is something that one must be cautious and wary of, is that if Allah has blessed you, and we're all that person that Allah has blessed, no one can claim that what you have is not from the blessings of Allah Azza wa Jal. You have strength, health, wealth, knowledge. Everything you have in your life is from Allah. Look at Qarun. Qarun tried to attribute what he had been given from Allah to himself. قَالَ إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَى عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. Since you claim, O Qarun, that it's from you, then protect it if you can. Protect what Allah has given you if it is you that amassed it and attained it through your knowledge, through your strength, through your status and your connection and your network. Protect it. فَخَسَفْنَا بِهِ وَبِدَارِهِ الْأَرْضِ. So no one can claim, and this claim is blasphemous, that the blessing you have is not from Allah. The problem, going back to the point, is if Allah has given you a blessing, and this blessing that He has given you is not shared with His creation, then it can be a reason for its departure. This blessing of Allah, if not expressed, used and shared in the way that Allah wants it to be shared and used, then it can be a reason for this blessing to leave you. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, إِنَّ لِلَّهِ أَقْوَامًا اختصهم بالنعم لمنافع عباده يقرها فيهم ما بذلوها. There are people that Allah Azza wa Jal, He blesses them. Blesses them with knowledge, blesses them with health, blesses them with wealth, blesses them with status. And this blessing that Allah Azza wa Jal favors upon them is so that they can benefit others with them. So as long as they are blessing others with this blessing, so as long as they are sharing this blessing, so as long as they are giving out this blessing that Allah has given them, then this blessing will continue. فَإِذَا مَنَعُوهَا نَزَعَهَا مِنْهُمْ وَحَوَّلَهَا إِلَى غَيْرِهِمْ. When these people withhold this blessing and do not do with this blessing what Allah expects them, then Allah will take it away from them and give it to others that deserve it. So if Allah has given you a blessing, preserve it. Preserve the blessing of Allah Azza wa Jal by being thankful for the blessing He has given you. وَلَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. The way to be thankful to Allah Azza wa Jal, or from the ways of being thankful to Allah, is by expressing your thanks by way of sharing, by way of supporting and aiding and helping others. Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anh, he says, or he reported that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, ما من عبد أنعم الله عليه نعمة وأسبغها عليه ثم جعل حوائج الناس إليه فتبرموا فقد عرض تلك النعمة فقد عرض تلك النعمة للزوال. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, if Allah bestows a blessing upon someone or upon a servant and He grants it in full, and there are many people that Allah Azza wa Jal has given, namely financial blessings, because that's what everyone looks at these days. So let's just talk in the language of people. Allah has made these people as beacons that people are attracted to, that rely on them for their source of sustenance and help and aid and need. The moment these people turn their backs on those that rely on them for aid and support and help, then Allah Azza wa Jal they have exposed themselves to Allah Azza wa Jal's punishment, in where He will remove this blessing from them. A question: do you wish for the trials and the distress that you are going through to be relieved? Yes, everyone wants their trials or their distress that they're going through to be relieved. Then relieve the distress of others. Do you wish for your affairs to be easy in this dunya and the akhirah? The answer is yes. Then make the affairs of the believers easy. and Allah will make your affairs easy. Do you wish for your faults to be concealed in this dunya and the akhirah? Your sins, your shortcomings, do you wish for them to be covered? Then cover the faults and the sins of the believers. For the general principle is al-jaza'u min jinsil amal. The reward is of the same nature of the deed. So what you do, Allah will return it back to you. If you give, Allah will give you, but a giving that you cannot compare to. If you forgive, then Allah will forgive you, but not a forgiving that you can compare to. If you show mercy, Allah will show you mercy, but not a mercy that you can compare to. Because Allah is the creator. Allah Azza wa Jal is the creator, and you're the creation. And the creation is unlike the creator. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, "Man naffasa an mu'minin kurbatan fi dunya, naffasa Allahu anhu kurbatan min kurabi yawm al-qiyamah." That if a believer relieves a distress of another believer, Allah will relieve of him a distress from the distresses of the hereafter. And he who covers the faults of a believer, of his Muslim brother, then Allah will cover his faults on the day of judgment. And whoever makes affairs easy, then Allah will make his affairs easy. Whoever's forgiving when it comes to the time of debt, then Allah will forgive him at the time where he has to produce his good deeds. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, "Man sarrahu an yunajjihi Allahu min kurabi yawm al-qiyamah." You know, the day of judgment is a severe day. It's a day that you believe in, that after your death you will be resurrected. فَذَلِكَ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَوْمٌ عَسِيرٌ. And Allah describes this day that you believe in as a hard day, a day that is severe. يَوْمَ تَرَوْنَهَا تَضَعُ كُلُّ ذَاتِ حَمْلٍ حَمْلَهَا وَتَرَى النَّاسَ سُكَارَى وَمَا هُمْ بِسُكَارَى. That day, you will see people in a state of intoxication, but people aren't intoxicated. It's just a state of severe fear. Tayyib, don't you want safety on that day? Don't you want to be saved on that day? Don't you want a sense of safety on that day? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, "Man sarrahu an yunajjihi Allahu min kurabi yawm al-qiyamah falyunaffis an mu'sir aw yada'a anhu wa man anzara mu'sira وضع الله عنه وأظله الله في ظله يوم لا ظل إلا ظله." You do good? You want to do good? Then you're going to be found with something even better. You want to show mercy? Allah is going to show you mercy. You want to forgive those that are in debt? Allah is going to forgive you the sin that you come with. This is the promise of Allah. Because the goodness you produce is something that you cannot compare to of Allah Azza wa Jal's mercy and forgiveness. And then you will be shaded under the shade where there is no shade except His. And those that are under the shade are saved. So if Allah promises you the shade on the day of judgment by simply showing goodness to others, then why are you being stingy on yourself? Why are you withholding goodness from yourself? You don't need to sleep the nights and wake up the days in fasting and giving in charity. Just show goodness. Some people think I have to memorize the Quran from beginning to end in the 10 dialects to enter paradise, to earn the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. The mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal lies within the mercy that you show to others. And when you show this mercy, you are from the most beloved people to Allah Azza wa Jal. When you are beneficial to others, when you are supporting others, when you are kind to others, Allah Azza wa Jal will show you just like that. The path to goodness is many, or the pathways to goodness are many, and people's needs are diverse. Feeding the hungry, clothing the poor, visiting the sick, educating the ignorant, giving time for those that are in debt, assisting those that are weak and in need, aiding the stranded, relieving your brother's sorrow, lifting off him a burden, sponsoring an orphan, supporting a widow, honoring a person, a dignified person that fell, showing kindness and thanks to kindness that was shown to you. And the list of goodness goes on. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, أَحَبُّ النَّاسِ إِلَى اللَّهِ أَنْفَعُهُمْ لِلنَّاسِ. The most beloved people to Allah are the most beneficial to others. And being someone that shares benefit is not defined to a specific description. It can be as simple as sharing a date. So don't be stingy on yourself. It's a joy that will live with you, a sense of fulfillment that will give you in this dunya and in the akhirah. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه فيا فوز المستغفرين. الحمد لله وكفى ولا عدوان إلا على من ظلم وبغى والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث المصطفى صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تمسك بسنته واكتفى بهديه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد. There is no limit to acts of kindness. Kindness is open-ended. As long as it's a halal means of kindness, then it's open-ended. And it's not restricted to the believers. It can be to the believers and to the disbelievers. Showing your kindness even to an animal can earn you the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. There's a hadith of a woman that entered Jahannam wal iyadu billah. Why? Because she had a cat and she confined this cat. She caged it. Didn't allow it to eat, or did not feed this cat, nor did it allow it to go and seek a source of provision in the wild. So this cat died, so it earned the punishment of Allah Azza wa Jal and entered Jahannam. And in another narration, there was a lady that was known for her promiscuity, for her haram actions. She earned the mercy of Allah. How? A woman, a female, that is known to do from the most evil of actions. She earned the mercy of Allah. How? A dog that was thirsty, that had nowhere to drink next to, and so not like nowadays. Imagine a desert, no water. This lady seen a dog that was thirsty and could not find anything to quench its thirst with. So she provided for it water. So Allah Azza wa Jal provided her with His mercy. The mercy you came with, Allah will show you better. The charity you came with, Allah will show you better. The love that you showed, Allah will show you better. The forgiveness that you show, Allah will show you better. The problem is that we live in a society that is very self-centered. It is busy, amassing, attaining, whether on purpose or subconsciously or whatever it may be. But it's the society we live in. To the extent that we may be sitting next to a person that is in dire need for help and aid, and you've got that help and aid, but you're too consumed to know. You're too consumed to care. You're too consumed to worry, to think, to even ask, are you okay? We're so consumed now that we have to have a special day Are you okay? Like it's so sad that society is reduced, that we have a day during the year where we ask, are you okay? Every day of a believer should be that are you okay day. Seeking to support someone, to aid someone, to help someone. Whether it's money, whether it's knowledge, whether it's physically helping them move and using your strength, using your time. You know, if you're that person, you have nothing to worry about and nothing to fear. And your reward is there. Allah Azza wa Jal, He tells us and promises us, الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله الذين ينفقون أموالهم بالليل والنهار سرا وعلانية لهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Those that spend in the way of Allah, that use their resources in the way of Allah, wealth, health, strength, knowledge, status, day and night, in public and in private. Doesn't have to be known that you're aiding, supporting, helping. And even if it's known, الذين ينفقون أموالهم بالليل والنهار سرا وعلانية فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم. Don't worry, your reward, the compensation that you will get for what you done, is there. And who's more generous? You or Allah? Who is more generous? You or Allah? The answer is yours. You can answer it. فَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. They will not be feared. They will not experience fear, nor would they be saddened. These are the two things that everyone carries in their heart and in their mind. They may not share it, but these are the two things that people always worry about. Worry and fear. For this dunya, and more importantly for the akhirah. They're worried about their family when they leave. Who's going to take care of them? When I leave, who's going to take care of my children? Who's going to take care of my family? So you fear, or you worry over them. And then you fear what's going to happen. But Allah promises you, if you are on the pathway of goodness in this dunya, then have no fear and have no worry, because you're dealing with the most gracious, the most merciful.